From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network and Troy campuses around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision Weekly.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Weekly. We're glad you joined us for this look at what's happening in and around Troy University. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. Thursday morning, Troy University's Sartain Hall was filled with residents and first responders from all over the area who gathered to pay their respects to the crew that lost their lives in the Life Flight helicopter crash this past weekend. Jordan Elston has that story.
3 heroes were honored Thursday at the memorial service held for the victims of the Haynes Life Flight crash that happened Saturday.
Well, we're here to honor the lives of the heroes that were lost in the helicopter accident we had on March 26th, and we had a memorial service today to honor those, and the community came out to support us.
Chad Hammond, Jason Snipes, and Stacy Cernatus were killed along with patient Zach Strickland in the accident, and Troy Mayor Jason Reeves says that Troy is willing to do anything possible to help.
Just a tragic loss, and any way that we could do something to honor them, their sacrifice, their service. Not long ago, at least one of the crew was on board and saved a university student. They provide, a lot of service for, keep folks safe around here, and, just a tragic accident, and just to have the honor of just being here for the service and showing them how much the community and the state and the nation appreciates what our first responders do, and especially those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice.
Speaker Corey Pittman says that being able to speak at the memorial service about the impact that the victims have made is the greatest honor of his life.
It's the biggest honor ever, and 24 years of service, this is the biggest honor that I've ever had, just to make it about them and not about us, but truly reflecting what they have done for our industry, what they will do for our industry through their legacy, and being able to just pay tribute to who they are as a person.
According to the National Transportation Safety Board, the official cause of the crash could take up to a year to be determined. However, Life Flight services will continue to operate in Troy. Jordan Elston, Troy TrojanVision News.
Troy University is the home away from home for thousands of students, and it takes a lot of faculty and staff to make their time here run as smoothly as possible. On Wednesday, Troy University recognized the hard work and dedication of some of those employees. Austin Cofield has the story.
While many of us are only in Troy University for around 4 or 5 years, there are those among us who have been around for far longer and have worked just as hard. On Tuesday, the university awarded the McKinley Award to a top staff member, as well as service pins to faculty and staff who have shown their loyalty to the university for many years.
This is an opportunity to recognize individuals who provide many, many years of service to Troy University. And we also recognize a top staff member who has done a great job for providing good customer service, the Virgil Parks McKinley Award recipient. And then individuals who receive their service awards for providing 5 to 35 years of service to the university.
The service pins were awarded to 6 members of the faculty who have shown their dedication to their jobs as well as the university.
As you can tell, from 5 to 35 years, these employees have been loyal to this university for that many years, and even though some of them only receive their 5-year PIN award, many of them will stay to probably one day receive their 35-year award.
The Virgil Parks McKinley Employee Award was awarded as well, with the winner receiving an engraved clock as well as a $1,000 check. The award is bestowed upon an employee that excels in ability, spirit, and determination in their area of responsibility.
I was very excited because this is a job that I love. It's one of those jobs where they say you don't get up and go to work because you just love what you do, and I love what I do. I feel like this is a team presentation. It's like a team award because I have a wonderful team that works for me. So I am the director, but they're the team, and they're the ones that serve the students so well and make it so successful. So it's all about the customer service for the schools and students and having student success stories.
Austin Cofield, Troy TrojanVision News.
On Wednesday, students got the opportunity to meet with businesses looking for future employees at the Spring Career Fair. Samantha Charles has the details.
Troy students gathered in Sartain Hall for the biannual career fair, where approximately 48 companies attended in search of potential employees.
Well, we're always looking for talent, and of course Troy has a phenomenal broadcast program. We have several students who are actually graduates of Troy that work in our newsroom and have come through our newsroom in many years. And so we know the quality that comes out of Troy, and we're always interested in looking for new talent.
We're really excited about the exceptional students at Troy. Wanted to get connected with the university so that we could talk about our opportunities for full-time employment and paid internship opportunities, both here in the state of Alabama, across the United States, and specifically in the DC area.
If your first instinct is to look for a job while at the career fair, think again. There are plenty of opportunities for students while still in college.
We do full-time paid opportunities, but we also do those paid internships as well. And what's really special about the Charles Koch Institute is while we connect individuals with those paid internships, full-time opportunities, they participate in professional development education programs that we facilitate. So they get to continue their education, continue their growth as professionals, as individuals, at the same time as getting experiential learning, getting paid to do a job and to create value and to contribute to an organization.
While learning about job opportunities is a big part of the career fair, one employer says that making connections is crucial.
One of the key things in helping you to move along in your career is knowing how to network, to get your name out there, to get your credentials out there, have your resume real in our particular industry so that we can take a look at you and decide whether or not you would be a fit for our shop.
Samantha Charles, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
And before the fair, Career Services introduced a new event designed to help make a more personal connection between the students and the businesses taking part in the career fair. Deborah Bogart has the details.
Graduation is near and the career search is on for Troy University students. This week has been packed with a resume blitz, career fair, and a networking event that allowed some businesses to meet some possible job candidates here on campus.
And it came about because a lot of the students are coming to the career fair, but they like a smaller event where they can really speak with the employers. So we decided to have this where when they come, they can ask the employers questions and just really get a sense of what opportunities their business has.
Attendees and the representatives participated in a question and answer portion where they learned what qualities potential employers looked for in hires, prior job experience, salary, and internal promotions. McCloydy said the event did provide her some insight into what is expected of employees as she enters the career world.
The biggest thing that I wanted to do was come and get an idea of what prospective employers are looking for in new hires, and I would definitely say that I feel a little bit more comfortable just going into this new time of like graduating and going for a new job, seeing what it's like from their perspective. It's been really helpful.
Tonight provided Troy students an opportunity to mix and mingle with representatives of corporations, and Cole hopes that this will give the students a sense of familiarity that they will use tomorrow at the career fair.
I think it's helped that they've kind of gotten some insight on the companies, but also on what those companies are looking for, and the students will feel more comfortable approaching the employers tomorrow at the fair, because these employers that are here, they feel like they already know them.
Cole said she hopes to see this event continue to precede career fairs, which occur every fall and spring semester. Deborah Bogart, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
We'll take a short break, but when we return, we'll see the new way Troy students will be registering for their summer and fall classes. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
This is Dr. Daniel Smith. He's an expert in domestic and international economics. But his proudest achievement is connecting with his students and helping them accomplish more than they ever thought possible. That's the warrior spirit, and it's alive and well at Troy University. Feel it at troy.edu/spirit.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it. While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed ours. Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Now back to Troy Trojan Vision News Weekly.
Next week, Troy University students will register for summer classes. However, starting with this registration period, there's a new process in place that students might need to be aware of. Austin Cofield explains.
Just in time for summer and fall registration, Troy University has introduced a new method of registering for classes while keeping track with your academic career.
This new system allows a student at the undergraduate level to look at all courses that might be needed for the full 4 years, so they could lay a track for every single course they're going to need to take for their 4-year program.
I'm excited about it. I think it's real interesting and neat. I think the students will really enjoy it because I have.
In order to use the new system, students will log into Trojan Web Express like normal, and under Academic Planning, select Student Self-Service. Once there, students will click on Student Planning to be able to view their progress or plan their degree and register for classes. Students can also go to sss.troy.edu/student to go there directly.
A lot of them have really enjoyed the process, and they realize that once they see it, it's a lot cleaner, a lot easier to read, a lot easier to see, and they actually like seeing how long it's going to take them to finish their degree. And once they realize, oh my gosh, I've got that much done, then they actually really like it.
We did a survey last summer. That was the first time we had used the new software in the impact sessions, and we surveyed roughly about 1,100 students, and out of that 1,100, we had one of the highest positive response rates we've ever had on any registration process. So we have data to support what we thought anecdotally was the facts, that students are responding. They find this program to be intuitive, and they see that it allows them to make the most progress towards their degree.
To watch a video explaining the new registration process, students can go to troy.edu/records and click on Student Planning. Austin Cofield, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
Spring is a time of transition for many student organizations. New members are welcomed and goodbyes are said to the old. Thursday night, Circle K International installed a new board of officers. Haley Greathouse has the details.
Circle K International is an organization based on the principles of service, fellowship, and leadership. And last night, the members got together to welcome a new group of student leaders.
So tonight, we inducted new members, Cassidy Cannon, and we retired our old officers, and we installed our new officers.
One officer had an unusual installation.
Our president for next year, he is actually interning at Disney this semester, so he was unable to be here tonight. So what we did was we FaceTimed him and then installed him that way.
Running an organization is not an easy task, and the current president had some advice for the new board.
Build on each other's strengths and try to improve, help each other improve on their weaknesses.
The new board is ready to go and already has plans for the next year.
I plan personally to get a lot more people involved with Circle K, because when I know when I first came to Troy, I didn't know what it was at all. My boyfriend actually, who's the new president, he told me, he was like, yeah, let's go to this club meeting, and I was like, oh, I really don't want to. He was like, no, it'll be fun, and it was fun. It was a blast, and we just started coming to a lot more, and that just really got me involved.
Tea is a common beverage in most households in Alabama, but it's also a common beverage across the globe. One organization uses this similarity to bring American and international students together in a social environment. Haley Greathouse has more details about Tea for Troy and their upcoming Tea Formal.
Students from all over the world come to Troy University, and one student organization aims to bring these students together under the commonality of tea.
And then we started having people come and hang out on a regular just night of the week, and we started playing Uno and drinking tea. And we're like, this is fun, people love this. So we're like, why don't we have this as a club?
Tea for Troy is a newer organization on campus. It has been around for 3 years, and each year they celebrate tea culture by throwing a British tea formal.
We started this because Tea for Troy is about building relationships. It's about having fun. We try to be the social side of the international community. We want different internationals to meet other internationals and other Americans. So we decided the best way for social things to be is to have a dance. So you get to meet new people and hang out and have fun.
The event is a dance, but don't worry if you don't know how. They'll teach you.
The Swing Dance Club will be helping us teach They will also be teaching some line dances and just the regular dances from today.
But if dancing is not your thing, there will be some other options.
Then we're going to have finger foods with some different selections. We'll also have some games going on in the back for people to hang out and play and have fun. And we're going to have a photo booth with different props.
Tickets are $5 and available from any T for Troy officer. Haley Greathouse, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
Outside of food, probably the most likely exposure Americans have to Chinese culture is through Kung Fu movies. So this past week, Troy's Confucius Institute used Kung Fu to help share Chinese culture. Jordan Elston explains.
Kung Fu movies are a staple in Chinese culture and are also enjoyed by many Americans. However, Hollywood-produced movies often differ from traditional Chinese films, and in this week's Chinese Corner, students got the chance to examine the differences.
In terms of skills and techniques, technology, screenplay, I think a lot of things that the Chinese movie is still lagging behind the Hollywood movie, and I'm definitely a Hollywood movie fan, so I can tell that there is a difference, but the Chinese movie now is catching up, and I also want to share with the students here that how is Chinese movie now and what level they are in right now, and yeah, there is difference, and I hope that in the near future, we will produce very good ones, and more and more Americans will like it.
Yu says that watching their traditional Chinese Kung Fu movies is a more effective way of getting students to understand the culture.
Yeah, it's very important because if I tell you something, that would be dry and not interesting. But if it's shown in a movie, and you will get a vivid image and a better idea about what this is about. So if I can choose, I would like to show people in a video or a movie about relevant Chinese cultural things and cultural items.
Next week's Chinese Corner will introduce students to a city that is not well known in America, but is famous in China. Jordan Elston, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
The Trojan Center looked more like Caesar's Palace Wednesday night as a little bit of Las Vegas made its way to Troy. The University Activities Council brought student favorite Casino Night back for this week's Wednesday night activity. Seth Hawk has the story.
Wednesday night, Troy's University Activities Council brought something to campus that you would not typically expect to see on a college campus. They brought in a casino.
So tonight our event is Casino Night, and it's basically we brought a company out that caters to all the different real casino games like blackjack or the slot machines. We have 10 different games going on, and people will get to win not money but really good prizes.
Troy students came to the Trojan Center to press their luck and hopefully come out on top from the multiple games offered at Casino Night.
I did pretty well. I played blackjack and I won a few chips, so it was a pretty good night so far.
While blackjack, roulette, and Texas Hold'em were just one of multiple games offered at the Troy Casino, the students enjoyed themselves immensely.
It's great, yes. A lot of people in here, everybody's playing and having a good time.
While most casinos require you to cash in some money for chips, all a Troy student would need was a student ID and a willingness to gamble.
Well, we actually, as soon as they walk in, they get $1,000, and of course they can bet it, gamble it throughout the night. So that's the currency that's going to be used for tonight.
At this casino, 500 Trojan dollars equaled one raffle ticket that could be placed in a drawing bin for anything from Tide Pods to a brand new bike. Seth Hawk, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
We're going to take another quick break, but when we come back, we'll hear some offerings from our friends at Troy Public Radio. So don't touch that dial.
You make me wear my bike helmet. Taught me never to run with scissors.
You tell me to stay away from drugs.
To always buckle my seatbelt. And to follow the swimming rules.
You're always looking out for me and trying to keep me safe.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
Here in the garage.
Closet. Shoe box. Under the bed.
Where anyone can get to it.
How safe is that?
How safe is that?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. If you own a firearm and are not using it, please be responsible and be sure that it's stored in a safe place. Remember, always lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org.
Now back to Troy Trojan Vision News Weekly.
Each week we take some time to hear some of the work done by our broadcast partners at Troy Public Radio. As we do each week, we'll get another sample of Talk of Troy, the student-produced newscast of Troy Public Radio.
It's the Talk of Troy. Voices and sounds from the campuses of Troy University. I'm Shanna Timms. The greenery around Troy's Alabama campuses is receiving a national award, and producer Grishma Ramal explains why.
Not every school has the designation Tree Campus USA, but Troy University does because of its conservation and community forestry program. Mark Salmon, director of Troy's physical plant, says that Troy even has its own tree advisory committee and a budget just for the trees.
We also have a service learning project where the students can come over and participate.
All 4 of Troy's campuses in Alabama have been recognized with the title, something Salmon is personally proud of.
It really puts a stamp of accomplishment on what the university has been focused on.
The title was awarded by the Arbor Day Foundation, a conservation and education-based nonprofit. For the Talk of Troy, I'm Grishma Ramal.
The Rosa Parks Museum in Montgomery recently received a donation of more than 500 African American magazines published during the Civil Rights Movement. Felicia Bell is the director of the museum.
Some magazines included investigative reports, some included the community's response to what was happening in the 50s and 60s.
Bell says the collection, which includes both Jet and Hue magazines, preserves in print another view of the civil rights era.
We hope that they're able to get an assessment of how the news of the modern civil rights movement was reported through black media.
The magazines will be available for research and will be displayed in future exhibits. I'm Shanna Timms, and you've been listening to The Talk of Troy, a production of Troy Public Radio.
Throughout the week, Troy Public Radio can be heard on 89.9 in Troy and Montgomery, 88.7 in Dothan, and 91.7 in Phoenix City. Well, it's time for our last break, but when we return, we'll learn about the Concert Chorale's upcoming performance. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Mom, can we get some ice cream? Please, Mom, please.
No, we're having dinner soon.
Please.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
This is Dekise. She has her bachelor's degree from Troy University and is now pursuing her master's online to grow her career. Soon, she'll have a prestigious graduate degree from Troy, a proud public university that's been helping students achieve their career goals since 1887. Do what you love and be great at it. That's the warrior spirit. Learn more at troy.edu/workingwarrior.
Now back to Troy Trojan Vision News Weekly.
Troy's Concert Chorale will put on a performance this Sunday. We'll learn more about the show in this week's Trojan Talk. Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. Today we'll be talking about the upcoming Concert Chorale performance, and my guest today, Dr. Diane Orlowski, Director of Choirs here, and Philip Peters, one of the performers in the Concert Chorale. Thank you both for joining us here today. Talk about what you've got coming up. You got a concert coming up this week.
This Sunday, yes, 3 o'clock at Bush Memorial Baptist Church, and should last about an hour. And of course, as usual, admission is free.
Admission is free. And now, before we get into the performance, talk about the choir itself, because obviously there's a number of different choirs here on campus. So tell us a little about what this concert, the Concert Chorale, is made up of.
Concert Chorale is what we call a chamber choir. So a chamber choir usually is between 30 and 40 voices, and I think we're at 36 or 37 right now. And it's an auditioned group, so you have to go through a separate audition to get into the group. And so we perform a lot of slightly higher level music.
slightly higher level music, but obviously yes, the opportunity there is that you've got a little bit more experienced singers to work with, so you can do something like that.
Right,
So.
but we still have about a third to a half are not music majors. So they're very talented, and they come from all disciplines on campus.
An opportunity. And now, speaking of one of those talented singers, talk a little bit about, I guess, being a part of this organization, this group, and what it means, and how it feels to, I guess, be able to perform the music that you perform at performances like this.
My time in chorale has been fantastic. It's a way for not only as students to be able to perform these really fantastic, difficult pieces, but also for the community to be able to come and hear these kinds of songs that they probably wouldn't hear if they didn't have this here at Troy University.
And that's one of those things about this concert, talk about the community, the location of this event helps bring more of the community involvement in this, because you're doing it at Bush Memorial,
right.
Off campus, and we've talked about it before, a lot of the reasons, acoustics, but it gives a chance for folks in the community to hear this work and expose maybe some eyes and ears to the music that's performed.
And we have some unique sound issues this time, because we have a string quartet and we have a cello soloist. We have 12 student soloists. Philip is one of those. And a bass, an upright player that's accompanying one of our pieces. And so you really do need kind of a space that will be able to kind of meet the needs of all.
But Phil, the chance to be able to perform for people like outside of your peers, because obviously folks in the School of Music and other students are more familiar with the work that you've done.
Right.
But how does it make you feel to be able to share your talents with folks in the community who may not get a chance to see this on a regular basis?
I mean, it's a great feeling. It's so wonderful to be able to have a director who can, pick these students that can sing this really, really difficult music, and this great music by the composers Rafe Vaughan Williams, George Shearing, and things like that, and it's fantastic.
Well, and that's what I'm talking about. Some of the music. What are the things that people are going to be able to hear? Anything they might recognize right off the bat, or is this going to be something unique that they may not be familiar with? So.
Well, one of the pieces that we're doing is called Songs and Sonnets by George Shearing, and that's going to be a totally different thing than you've ever heard from chorale. He incorporates a lot of jazz chords and jazz techniques into it, and so it's going to be something that you've never really heard from chorale.
And then on the opposite extreme, we're doing a Beethoven piece with a string quartet. And I'd like to program a lot of variety. There is honestly something for everyone here.
Yeah.
We have two guest conductors. Dr. Mark Walker, director of bands, is conducting one of our pieces, as is Dr. James C. from Montgomery. So I think there'll be a kind of, like I say, a little bit of something for everyone. Serenade for Music is a beautiful piece that was written for 16 soloists. We're doing with 12, and chorus, and it is really a fascinating. A lot of Shakespeare text. So if there are people out there that love Shakespeare, for the literature buffs, we're doing two pieces that have nothing but Shakespeare text.
Nothing but Shakespeare text to music.
Yeah.
So something, like you said, those literature buffs out there, they want to hear something unique and new. They may not have experienced Shakespeare in this way, something they can check out. So
that's right.
Now, once again, for anyone out there who's interested in checking out the literature buffs and the music buffs out there that want to check things out, when and where is the concert again?
Sunday, 3 o'clock, Bush Memorial Baptist Church. And of course, admission is free.
Admission is free. You can't complain about the admission price there if you're going to get a free show and see the wonderful talents of Troy University's singers out there, and get the chance to hear some, as you refer to, unique music that you may not hear in this area. So, good luck with the concert, and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for joining us on today's edition of Trojan Talk. And that's what happened on the last week of March 2016. To find out what's happening throughout the week, you can tune in to Troy TrojanVision News at 5, 6:30, and 10:30, Monday through Friday. Or anytime by following us on Twitter at Troy TV News. Also, you can feel free to like our Troy TrojanVision News fan page on Facebook to see links to online content from Troy TrojanVision News. We update that daily. We hope you join us again next week for another edition of Troy TrojanVision Weekly. For all of us here at Troy TrojanVision, we hope you have a good week.